Okay, well, hello, everyone, and happy Monday to you. Today is December the 9th, 2013. I want to welcome you to Les Brown's Monday Night Motivation with world-renowned motivational speaker, speech coach, and best-selling author, Les Brown. For those of you that have joined us before, you know that this is your place for motivation and inspiration. I am Anita Hicks, your host, motivational speaker, life coach, and business trainer. I want to thank you for joining us each and every week, for joining in on Les Brown's Monday Night Motivation. Thank you so much for investing in yourself. And after the call, you get an opportunity to learn how you can stay connected with Les Brown and his platinum speakers throughout the week. But for now, we are going to hear from the man himself. Mr. Brown, how are you? Les, would you please unmute your phone? Because I know you're there. Les Brown.
I just want to make you sweat a little bit. I'm here.
You can't make me sweat. You can't make me
He's
sweat.
so
You
wrong
can't do
for
it.
Les Brown, you a bad boy.
You know I'm a bad boy. You know I can't help it.
Les, you are something else.
My
Hey, so Les,
poor
I wanted to
heart
ask
was
you a
heated.
question. I know that this week we all heard about Nelson Mandela, and I really have been taking all day to kind of reflect on that, because for me, I was on the road when I heard about it. I was training, and I didn't really have time to really sit back and think about it. But one of the things that really inspired me most when I heard someone do an interview, the gentleman that's playing him in the movie, one of the things that Nelson Mandela said to him, that he was not sick. He was just old. He was still on the journey. He was still continuing to fight, even to the end, at 95 years old. So I thought that was very, very powerful, because he didn't give up the fight. He continued on. So I know that you have some thoughts about that. I read what you said on Facebook. So, I'm looking forward to just hearing what you have to say.
Well, thank you so much. He was a person who had a sense of destiny. He was not a perfect man, but he wanted to make a difference in life. He wanted his life to mean something. And I think when I look at the work that you are doing and Stacy is doing and just the people that's on this call now, I think there's certain people in life who feel that there's a calling on them. And Nelson Mandela had that calling. And I believe that there's a calling in all of our lives. I believe that all of us have the potential to listen to that still small voice within ourselves when we say, I can do more. And when I was in Johannesburg, South Africa, I had a chance to go to the house where he and Winnie Mandela and his children lived, and I saw where the policeman shot in the house. They're still as if it took place yesterday. I saw a small cell, that just limited space, where he was held for 26 years, and you had to wonder, how could someone with nothing but a cup and a little mat on the floor, how could they maintain their sanity? I saw the pictures of kids and adults who were killed because they wanted to learn their own history. I saw the pictures of men and women who were taken and they vanished. They were tortured and beaten to death because they wanted a quality education. When I did the training in South Africa, one of the things that really startled me, a man around 46 asked me, he said, how do you dream? How do you dream? And because under apartheid 20 years ago, that was not an option. You didn't have, if you're a black person or a colored person or you're from India, you didn't have the option of becoming a doctor or a lawyer or choosing a profession or a career. That was not an option for you. We're talking about just 20 years ago. But they went through a process where they were denied a quality education. They went through a process just as we did in this country under segregation, where they were limited in terms of having access to the kind of life that they wanted. So they could not dream. Dreaming was not an option. So we had to take them through a process to teach them how to dream, and to see the level of energy and commitment and the hunger for people who want to learn. There's no question the work that we're going to go and do back there. I tell you, I could live in South Africa right now, and the reason is it is so exciting to work with the willing, to work with people who are willing to be coached, to work with people who have a thirst for knowledge and information, to work with people who are willing to do whatever is required in order to make their lives better. And I want to talk about Nelson Mandela in you, because I believe that Dr. King was right. He said there should be something in life that you're willing to die for, something in life that you're willing to sacrifice for, something in life that you're willing to pour yourself into. And I want you to think about your life and think about your goals and think about your dreams, because I think the highest honor that we can play for the Nelson Mandelas, for the Paul Robinsons, for the Malcolm X's, for the Dr. Martin Luther Kings, I think the highest tribute that we can pay is to recognize all that they have done and then ask ourselves the question, what are we going to do? What kind of mark are we going to make? I was reading the front page of the Sunday newspaper in Orlando, and in that there was an article on the front page where a husband, a wife, and a daughter were found dead in the garage. And the article went on to say they had been dead for 3 weeks. And the question was asked in the article, how can someone be missing for 3 weeks and no one notices until there was a foul odor coming out of the house? And I submit to you that that's the majority of people, that the majority of people could be dead, but because their lives are so inconsequential, because their lives had such little impact, because their lives are just focused on survival, because their lives are so small, and they did not discover the truth of who they were and what they were able to do with their lives, that they will not be missed. But when a Nelson Mandela takes his last breath, everyone knows, because of the impact of his life went far beyond apartheid, because of the impact and the example of his life, of his grace, of his courage, of his love, of his passion to be free, of his fight and the sacrifice that he made for his family, that it inspired people around the world. And so as you look at yourself and look into the future, here's what I can say, that we all know that at some time we're going to leave here. And one of the things that's important, and I heard Frank Sinatra say this, live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. When I heard him say that, at that time, Gladys, Nutty, and I were married, and we were in this club and had a chance to meet him, and I overheard him say that in a conversation. Live each day as if it were your last, because one day it will be. And as we look at ourselves and we celebrate this man and his life and the example that he had every reason to be angry and bitter toward his captives. Somebody said that what happens to you in life really doesn't matter. It's how you choose to deal with it. That when things happen to you, they can make you bitter or they can make you better. And here's the man who had the grace and magnanimous character to look at his captors, a man who was humiliated, who was imprisoned, a man and his comrades who were killed and tortured, that was able to say, I forgive you. I forgive you. And as you look at your life and look at where you are, what is it and who is it in your life you need to forgive? Because we've all had some injustices to take place in our lives, some injustices. We've all had some people who've wronged us. We've all had people who've hurt us. We've all had people who have done things to us and said, how could they do that? After all that I've done for you, I remember a friend of mine, she was talking to her daughter. She said, after all the things I did for you and your brothers and sisters and all the sacrifices that I made when your father left, I stayed here. I didn't desert you, and I worked from sun up until sundown. How could you leave me here and not help me me at this stage of my life when I need your help. And her daughter looked at her and said, I didn't ask you to help me. I didn't ask you to give birth to me. See, it's amazing how some people think and how they see things. And as you look at yourself and look at your goals and dreams, it's very important to realize there's more in you than you are now expressing. It's very important to realize that you were chosen, that there's a calling on your life, that you have the ability, you have the power, you have within you the capacity to do more than you can ever begin to imagine. Don't define yourself by what you don't have, or because you've lost your home, or you've lost your job, or you don't have two pennies to rub together. No, that's not a true definition of who you are. I remember going through some tough times in Detroit, sleeping in my office in the Penobscot building on the 21st floor, and hiding in the closet when the janitorial staff came to clean, or bathing in the sink down the hall, or sleeping in my car when I fell on tough times in pursuit of my dream. And I can tell you that what I had to do was to hold a vision of what I wanted to create. I talked to Anthony today and Jim, his wife, and a guy who said, I've gone through some tough times, but my goal now is to make a difference in people's lives. He's turning those lemons into lemonade. And as we look at life and look at where we are, here's a man that went from being a prisoner to the president of the country. I mean, we've lived through some incredible times and seen some incredible miracles take place. And things that we never thought would take place in our lifetime, including the election, the first time and the second time, of President Barack Obama. We are living in a time that we know anything's possible. And this is no time to play small. This is a time to trigger and to begin to stimulate our imagination and ask the question, how can I make a difference? What mark can I make with my life? What can I do to impact the lives of young people who have lost a sense of direction, who've lost a sense of self-respect, who are caught up in the bling-bling and don't feel like they owe anybody anything, who don't realize that somebody paid a price for them to be here, who don't understand the words of James Weldon Johnson, who said, "Stony the road we trod, bitter the testing rod, felt in the days when hope unborn had died. Yet the steady beat have not our weary feet come to the place for which our fathers sighed. We've come over a way that with tears has been watered. We've come treading a path through the blood of the slaughtered." Somebody paid a price for the liberties that we enjoy. Somebody went to jail. Somebody had dogs sicked on them. And so when you look at yourself and think about and reflect on this man of this great spirit, we've got to look at ourselves. We've got to look at, as Michael Jackson talked about, the man in the mirror, and say, what am I going to do? What kind of legacy am I going to leave? And I believe that's incumbent upon all of us, because Nelson Mandela was not an exception. He was an example of what's possible for all of us when we find some place where we push our stake in the ground and say, here I stand, for I can do no other. Here's where I'm going to make my mark. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm reminded of a guy named Rob Thule. If you go to Miami and you go to Liberty City on 62nd Street, Ross Sewell has a store there. Ross Sewell was once incarcerated, but when he got out of jail, Ross Sewell decided, right over there at 62nd Street and 7th Avenue, Ross Sewell decided that he's going to make a mark with his life. He decided to help ex-offenders. He decided to become an entrepreneur. He decided that he's going to build a business legitimately and make a difference in the community. That in spite of what people might say about Liberty City and 48 hours and all the people that are killed in Liberty City and Overtown, that Ralph Sewell carved out a place in Liberty City that says, I'm going to make my mark right here and build a business from scratch. And that's what he's done. And he's expanded. And I'm saying to you, you've got some ideas in you. I'm saying to you, you got a vision in you. I'm saying to you, you've got gifts and talents. You were chosen for greatness. You had to win to be here. Your sperm won. And so as you look at yourself, ask yourself, what am I going to do differently? How am I going to show up in the world? What mark am I going to make? See, anybody can sit around and let somebody mark all over their bodies. But when you start talking about making a mark with your life, I talk about being actively engaged in this thing called life. When you decide there's something I want to do, and I've got to do it. I have got to do it. I remember my mother working on Miami Beach. I remember when she would walk around the house and say, Arthur's bothering me, that her ankles were swollen from arthritis. And I used to wonder, how could she decide that she's going to go to a job? She was sick, her ankles were swollen from arthritic condition, knees swollen, and she's going to go clean homes and be on her knees mopping and cleaning floors and cleaning toilets and keeping other people's children and cooking for other families. And she went. If it was raining, she went. If she didn't feel good, she went. If she was sick, she went. Because she knew that there were 7 miles depending upon her, even though she didn't give birth to us, but she made a commitment that we'll never go to sleep hungry and we'll always have clothes on our back and a roof over our heads. And then we got young guys who are dedicated and proud sperm donors who are making babies and say, well, I ain't got nothing. If I had it, I'll get it. Come on. Have lost a sense of pride and understanding what it means to be a man. We have young girls who leave their children at their mother's house as if they gave birth to them, to run the streets following some dude. We have people who have goals and dreams who are walking around trying to find a job in the entrepreneur's economy as opposed to looking at themselves as Moses had to do when he was crying out to God for help, and God said, what's in your hands? What is it you have going for you? What are your talents? What are your gifts? What's your passion? What's your dream? What is it you want to do? See, when we start thinking about the fact that we are made in the likeness and image of God, when we start thinking about the fact that we've been given authority and dominion over everything on the face of the earth, when we start thinking about the fact that there are moments in your life that either you define the moments or the moments to define you, and that we have the power, regardless of our situation, we have the power, regardless of the circumstances, we have the power to create a new chapter with our lives. That we're not victims unless we choose to be that. That greater is he that is in you than he that's in the world. It's a power. There's a source in you. That's why you're listening to me. You already know everything that I'm saying. I'm validating and confirming everything that's in you already. And I know what it's like to wonder, do I have what it takes? I know what it likes to have your car repossessed or your home foreclosed on. I know what it's like when I remember at Christmas time, and my kids would ask me, Dad, are we going to get anything for Christmas? And I said, I'm sorry, I didn't want to tell you. What's wrong, Daddy? Why are you crying? Well, I just heard that Santa Claus committed suicide. But Daddy, we just saw him on television. Well, those are reruns. He was kind of coming, but he didn't have enough presents to go around. He killed himself. Oh, my God. Oh, my God. I should be ashamed of myself. And Calvin and Patrick, they started crying. They thought Santa Claus had committed suicide. But I remember the money. It seemed like every Christmas, right before Christmas, I ran out of money. I couldn't understand it. How can this happen every year? I was working on a job, and I used to get mad when I got my paycheck, when people should be excited, but I know they gave me the money, and I gave it to the people that I owed. And I got tired of that. I got tired of surviving. See, what it takes to live is different than what it takes to survive. And I decided that I was going to live a bigger life. I decided to learn. I started listening to motivational recordings. At that time, it was motivational cassettes, not CDs, cassettes. I started listening to them and reading motivational books to strengthen my mind, to expand my vision of myself, of what's possible. And I'm saying to those of you that's on this phone, you want to, at this time more than ever before, you want to build your mind up and build that inner man and woman in you. You want to read things that will inspire you, listen to things that will fire you up, because there's a lot of toxic energy out here. There's something wrong when more people in the land of opportunity, the United States of America, are committing suicide than people who die from traffic accidents. Something is wrong with that. When a man decides to kill his wife, kill his 12-year-old daughter, and kill himself in a garage because his wife can't no longer pay the mortgage note, he's getting part-time work, he's behind on his bills, and he's going to kill himself? Come on. Come on. No. No. Willie Jolly had a point. A setback is a setup for a comeback. My favorite book is Right. Think it not strange that you face the fiery furnaces in this world. Viktor Frankl is right. Life is full of unavoidable suffering. But you don't have to give into it. You want to grow through it, not just go through it. You don't want to make stupid decisions because you're going through some tough times. No. You've got to have a mindset of resiliency and affirm to yourself, I'm going to get through this. No matter how bad it is or how bad it gets, I'm going to get through this. Dr. Monk looked at me a few weeks ago in Columbus, Ohio, and said, this is as bad as it gets. I said to myself, what do I care about that? I'm a fighter. I'm not a punk. I'm not going to punk into this. I'm not a diagnosis or a prognosis. You're not your circumstances. You're not a foreclosure. You're not a bankruptcy. You're not a job. Whatever you have, you can create it again. 810 millionaires have been financially bankrupt. We all go through some stuff. And don't ask, why did that happen to me? Why not you? Who would you suggest? When I first heard that, I said, I got a lot of names. I got to give you some email addresses and some phone numbers. You know, I'm spending my less. Everything you have, you're going through right now. The cancer is for your growth and development. I said, well, I wish God would give somebody else something to grow and develop from. I need him to pass this cup to somebody else. I've grown enough up in here, about to make me lose my mind. Up in here. I mean to tell you, this thing called life is a challenge. And we're still here. And we're still standing. And we still got a shot. And we can still make a difference. And I'm saying to you, as you look at yourself and look into the future, let us not just talk about the Honorable Nelson Mandela, but think in terms of what is it that I can do at this time with my life? What stories will be remembered about me? How will I use my talents, my abilities, my skills? What books will I write? What speeches will I give? What lives will be transformed because I live? Who will breathe easier? Who will feel better about themselves because they were in my presence? What is that that's in you, that wakes you up at night? What is that continues to nag you, that you have got to do it because it's you? That the people around you can't understand. Family members can't understand. But it's you. It's something that has been given to you, and you want your significant other to understand. But let me share something with you. You don't need anybody's approval. You've got to approve yourself. Because it's your dream. It's been given to you, and you've got to do it. And here's here's what I think about when I think about Nelson Mandela's life, that all of us must think about when we're thinking about living a life of contribution, when we think about making a mark, when we think about how we're going to show up in the world. There's an S that we must think about that you very seldom hear when it comes to success. You know what it is? It's called sacrifice. Sacrifice. That's what I think about when I think about the Honorable Adiba, Nelson Mandela, sacrifice. What are you willing to give up? He gave up 26 years, not for himself, but for his country, for his people. He gave up 26 years to break the back of apartheid. What are you willing to give up? A friend of mine named Kerry, he was arrested for selling drugs. And he wrote his mother, said, Mama, I don't know if I can do 5 years in prison. I don't know if I can take it. I don't know if I can survive 5 years being locked up in solitary confinement. And his mother, to her credit, wrote him back, said, Son, I love you. If Nelson Mandela could do 26 years to free his people, you can do 5 years for getting people addicted to drugs. And she sent him some of my books and some other books and said, read and get your mind together. And he did. And he did those 5 years. Those 5 years didn't do him. And now Kerry is going around the world speaking to reduce the recidivism rate. Now Kerry is going around the world speaking to encourage people to live their dreams. Now Kerry is going around the world speaking and letting people know they have the power in them to live their dreams and be an asset to society rather than a liability. So as you think about Nelson Mandela's life, he gave up 26 years. He sacrificed 26 years. He wasn't with his wife. He wasn't with his children. 26 years. He was confined in prison. At any time, all he had to say was, I do not believe in the violent overthrow of apartheid. And he refused. My question to you, what are you willing to give up? My question to you, as you think about this man that we admire, that we honor, that we love, and that many words will be used to pay tribute to him. 3 presidents, President Bush, President Clinton, and President Obama will go to pay tribute to this man. What is it? What sacrifice are you willing to make the world a better place? Horace Mann said we should be ashamed to die until we've made some major contribution to humankind. I say that the reason that you're listening to my voice right now, there's something in you. There's a word in your heart. There's something in you that says, I'm supposed to make a difference. There's something in you. There's a gift. There's a talent. There's a word. There's something. There's a force for good in you. But the reason you're still here, the world is going to be a better place. People are going to breathe easier. Lives will be transformed because you showed up, because of the sacrifice that you're willing to make, and how you're going to stand and represent yourself in the world. And because of that decision to make a sacrifice for that which you want to bring forth into this world, the world will be a better place because you were born. You have something special. You have greatness within you. Yes, let us pay tribute to a great man who the generations yet unborn will be talking about. and never forget, there's a Nelson Mandela in you. That's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Powerful, powerful words. Powerful, powerful words. Thank you so much, Les. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm here in Orlando. We've been working with some of our speakers here, Nina Kaufman and Rick and Nancy's been here and a few others. It's been very intimate, and these are speakers you're going to be hearing from who's got a message, and they've been willing to sacrifice and give up the time. Nina, she flew down from New York. People are from everywhere. And also Susan Stryden, she flew in from Sweden to learn how to begin to give a powerful keynote. And so we've had this part of the hotel here rocking at the Radisson. We've been firing it up in here, and they've been looking at me with their eyebrows raised that the old man still's got the juice. He's loose up in here. And I was in San Jose, California this past weekend, and let the record show we spoke to a group of ACN people. A gentleman by the name of Byron Nelson. We spoke to his organization, and we fired him up. But he's a bad brother. You're gonna love him, Anita and Stacy, when you see him. He is awesome. And he spoke first. You know Byron?
I know Byron. Yes, sir.
Byron spoke first. Men, we got to beat our chests and let me know that I can speak too. So he went out and lit it up first. And I said, oh, it's like that. Okay. Let me tell you something. I went up there and mopped that floor up.
I know you taught him a lesson or two. He learned that thing.
Yes, I said, that'll learn you. Oh, no, he loved it. He's a wonderful brother. I'm just excited about working with him. He's going to be a part of our group, so we're going to be doing some great stuff together. I love his vision and dream. First time someone called me and said, I want to share with you a big dream that I have that we can do together with speaking that's going to transform lives. And I was so glad to hear that. It was very refreshing, and I'm excited about Barry Nelson and working with him. So I just want to thank everybody for being on the call. I want to thank the two of you for taking care of business. I'm excited about all the things that we're going to be doing. I'm going to be in Fort Lauderdale to work with some of the speakers there that are coming on and ready to take their voice to the next level. And, the beginning of the year, I'm taking 90 days off, 3 months, just to focus on me and strengthening myself from the inside out and taking my life to the next level and putting the little C behind me, never to come back up in my face again. I know I can't do it flying up and down on airplanes, so I'm asking people to hold me in prayer, see me being cancer-free, and see me beating this once again, hands down, kick in the butt, and stick a fork in it because it's done. Let the record show. But I will be on the call.
And
I'm going to do my call.
We got your back. We got your back. You know
we
that.
Got your back. And don't forget, we have our big 24 hours of motivation with your platinum speakers on January 1st. So you're going to be releasing some messages about that. So let the record show you're going to thrive.
Oh, yes, 24 hours. Tell people how they can be on the call. Tell them how they do that.
I will give them all the information when I make the announcements, but they have to stay tuned to your website, your Facebook page, and the Platinum page on Facebook. We're getting ready to launch all the information, 24 hours of motivation, January 1st, 2014. It's going down. Go hard or go home, baby. It's on.
That's what I'm talking about. Fantastic. Okay. Well, listen, thank you all so much. Yes, you have a question to ask?
Yeah. Do you want to open up the call, try to open up the call, or you just want to just hold
there's so much confusion on the call because so many people trying to get in at the same time. Here's what I like for people to do. Go to brown.les and spread the word about our positive motivational message, but also, if possible, post some comments on the call.
Yes.
Okay, do that. Let us know how you feel about the call. And I tell you, I feel I was just in Johannesburg, South Africa 2 weeks ago. We were there at the time was President Nelson Mandela's birthday, but I feel there is another level. My very good friend, Dr. Mary Tompkins from the Universal Truth Center in Miami passed, and I was in South Africa and couldn't get back to go to her funeral. This is a lady who took over the ministry that we started in Miami 32 years ago. And I miss her, but I know Tunk, that's what we call it, Tunk. I can feel her presence, and I know she and Boo and my mama are looking on the other side, watching us. I do believe that, I don't believe in death, I believe in transition, and that we we transition to another dimension of expression. And I do believe this next work for me, and why I'm going to make this demonstration with a little c, is a spiritual work. And I'm just so excited about the next chapter, and that 2014 is going to be the greatest year we've ever had. We had some incredible experiences with the Founders Church in Los Angeles when we spoke there this past week. We had great turnout, great synergy, some positive things happened. Hassan Thompson had an incredible event. It was his first event, and Makiva and Barbara, they were there, and other presenters. It was a great experience, and so I'm looking forward to 2014 to being our greatest year ever, but we're not through with 2013. There's still a lot of year left, to some money to be made, things to be done, and get ready to get a jump start in 2014. That's my story once again, and I'm sticking to it.
Well, thank you so much, Les. We appreciate you, and we will look forward to chatting with you on your Facebook page. So thank you
so much,
Les.
You.
All right, good
Take
night.
Care.
So for those of you that are listening, love you, Les. Thank you so much. We appreciate that powerful, powerful message. For those of you that are listening, we want to tell you how you can stay connected 7 days a week. Miss Stacy N.C. Grant is going to give you all of that information, so get your pen and paper out.
Thank you, Anita, my platinum sister, for all you do and who you are. This was definitely a powerful message tonight, and a reminder that every moment is precious. And I don't know about you, Anita, but I know I'm fired up and ready to go.
Oh, yes, I am.
All right, everyone, start your week off with Les Brown's baby girl, Ona Brown, with the Own Your Dreams with Ona Brown radio show every Sunday from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can join the conversation live at 404-355-8699, or you can listen at www.love860am.com or www.onabrown.com. That's ONABROWN.com. On Tuesdays, you can connect with Valerie N. Parker with Hot Soul Topics from the Soul every Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can call the show live at 760-913-4115, or you can listen in on blogtalkradio.com/Soul Topics. And you can visit Arise by VNP. V as in Valerie, N as in Nancy, P as in Paul.com. AriseByVNP.com. On Tuesdays, the first and third Tuesday of every month, you can join Evelyn Polk, a.k.a. the Heart Lady, on blogtalkradio.com/Heart Talk with Miss E, the letter E. That's 6 p.m. Pacific Time, and the call-in number there is 424-675-8303. Or you can visit www.talktomisse.com. So that's talktomse.com. Then on Wednesdays, you have an opportunity to sign up for I Think I Need a Coach with me, Stacy N.C. Grant. Visit www.stacyStacieNCGrant.com for more information. You can also get your business accelerated with none other than attorney Sean B. Arnold at businessbootcamponline.com, and that's Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Pacific Time. And then you can join Legal Biz Cafe with Sean B. Arnold, and that is at 8 p.m. Wednesday nights Pacific Time on Blog Talk Radio. So join Legal Biz Cafe on Blog Talk Radio. You can also hear Trish Talks on www.intentionradio.com/Trish-Talks. You don't want to miss that every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Pacific Time. Then on Thursday, Show Up for Your Life, free motivational call with the one and only Andy Enriquez. Every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Dial in number 712-432-6100, PIN number 114431 #, or visit www.showupforyourlife.com. Then you have an opportunity for one-on-one coaching with our beautiful host, Anita Hicks. Register for your live coaching session with Anita Hicks and get weekly assignments, Q&A sessions, and a bonus webinar. But you have to log on to www.anitahicks.com to reserve your spot, or email Anita at anitahicks.com. Save the date right now for January 1st, 2014 for Thrive in 2014, Living Your Best Year Ever, featuring Les Brown's Platinum speakers and Mr. Brown himself with Che Brown and Trevor Ott. This is going to be an awesome 24 hours of motivation, live and direct to you. So stay tuned to Les's Facebook page and his website for further information. And as we add on more activity for this fourth quarter and finish out 2013 on top, we look forward to having you join us on this journey. God bless you all. God bless your dreams. Stacey N.C. Grant signing off. Thank you, Anita.
Thank you so much, Miss Stacey N.C. Grant, and thank you so much for all you do for keeping us connected. And callers, we appreciate you. Thank you for joining us each week. You've heard the announcements, so now you can stay connected all week. Remember to tell someone about the call, and if you are interested in finding out how you can become a platinum speaker and become a part of the Les Brown's Platinum family and the thousands of voices, the 10,000 voices, you can email me, Anita Hicks. That's Anita, A-N-I-T-A, at AnitaHicks.com. So email me, or either go to my website, go to Facebook, send me a Facebook message. I'm out there on Facebook, but reach out to us. And also, we want to hear your comments. So remember to go to Facebook, Les Brown's Facebook page at brown.les, and let us know your thoughts. We appreciate you for joining us every week. And everyone have a wonderful Monday. And as always, I want to remind you to never, ever give up on your dreams, because the world awaits your light, your authentic gift. God bless you all, and God bless your dreams. This is Anita Hicks. Thank you so much for joining us. Good night, everyone. Good night, Stacey.
Good night, Anita. Love you, my platinum sister.
Love you. Good night, everyone.